Hey, it's us once again. I'm JT.
My goodness.
I got my homeboy with me. Say something, might be.
What it do?
And we're here for another quickie episode on Iyanla.
Yeah.
Fix my life. I just want to say first and foremost. You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I know. But when you got to give a disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
No, it had nothing to do with I was talking about my Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
You know, congratulations on them getting a quarterback about time. That's it.
Right on.
That's it. I'm happy. This is Iyanla Fix My Life, episode 2 on Neffe and Shelby. And we pick up off we heard that he was having a little episode
right
upstairs, you know, in the Iyanla house while she was talking to Nephie. And so she goes upstairs, and the man on it seems like it's always the same position. You know, the man is on the floor. He feeling some type of way.
Right.
You know, and so she was like, you know, what's
your
problem?
Yeah.
You know,
because when she left him, we were in a good place. Yeah, she told him the women gonna take care of you
first,
and all this.
We saw him in his pajamas about to go to bed. It didn't look like he was happy going to bed. We
saw that. Iyanla didn't see that, so I'm sure she confused as hell. Like, how did we get here?
He going to bed. Another bed to sleep in. I guess
like a snuffleupagus.
Yeah,
Sesame Street.
that was his countenance the whole show.
Yeah,
it seemed like you was like the poster child for depression. Mm-hmm. How he was looking,
right?
And so she was like, "Well, you know, what's your problem?" He's like, "I don't want to do this." She's like, "Do what?" All of this, and then she's like, "So, you know, what's the real problem?" You know, he was talking about the abuse,
right? Reliving all the things we talked about.
You know, I really, you know, I it seemed like he didn't know he was gonna feel that type of way once he got it out, and I guess he was vulnerable. It seemed like, you know, he didn't. He divulged all that information
on national TV.
Yeah, that's what it really came to, like, oh damn,
what my homeboys
my homeboys gonna see this.
Yeah. But I feel like it was a good thing to actually get it out, and I think in the long run it's going to help him. But I could understand feeling that way. Like, you like, did I really just say all that?
Yeah, I poured my heart out. I've been on the lawn crying on it.
Oh, you remember that reminded me of that one time I went up for prayer. Remember at church, I went up for prayer, and the pastor touched me. And you said the next thing I remember, I saw your toes pointed up in the air. Like, I didn't know it was going to affect me like that. And so he probably didn't think Iyanla was going to be able to bring him out. But he's likely been wanting someone to talk to, and that's going to actually listen to him, who appears to care. Hey, move on, brother. Move on. I was on the ground. You said I just saw your toes, them church shoes. I wasn't expecting that, but that's the power of the Holy Spirit. Hey, don't judge me, brother. This ain't national TV. I can share that story.
That's for another time.
Yeah, that's what
I'll let y'all know what happened with my. Let's move on.
Yes.
And he was, you know, she was telling me, like, you matter, and you know, you gotta let somebody love you,
right?
And you know, and you know, they had their little episode.
But did you hear when Iyanla was like, she said, you should be happy. You know, I got a house. You know, you moving in about a week. He's like, oh, it fell through. She said, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Did Neffe know about? Because she just told me that y'all moving in. And she sounded so. It sounded sure last week, but as we listened back, it was like, I think he's supposed
she was saying nothing. She was like, I got some tea.
But she never brought it up.
Iyanla,
when she talked to Nephie, she never brought it back. I thought she was gonna go.
You don't have to spill all, you know, what you know, the extra tea.
She said, "Does your wife, is she prone to lie?"
Yeah. And he was like,
yeah. He couldn't deny it.
He was like a parent come to a child telling on his sibling or something. Did your sister do this? He didn't want to.
But he's like, But you know why lie? We were here to like get it out in the open and heal our relationship. Might as well be honest. This is what they say when you go to the doctor. Don't hide. And then you wonder why your leg fall off later on. You didn't told them everything. Yeah.
And so she like, and kind of kept it. Then we go back. She went back to old Neffe, and she was like, you haven't dealt with your own trauma,
right?
With her abuse, and they really didn't go into her abuse situation. We knew about him, old Shelby, and his situation, but we really didn't know about her.
It was shocking when she even mentioned it. I thought
but she kind of glazed over it, and what was about to say? Because we really didn't know the situation.
That's the scene where they were outside going through their baggage, and he brought out like a teddy bear that reminded him of his childhood. Then brought out a dress that represents the sexual abuse that he went through.
And she brought out a shirt. Dress. Well, she brought out a shirt. It was a shirt. He brought out a dress.
It was a dress. Iyanla said, "This is a dress I brought for you to represent your sexual abuse." I'm thinking that she was saying for you to deal with what your husband went through. You guys don't really communicate, and y'all haven't dealt with that, considering it continues to affect y'all relationship. That's when we found out that she was sexually abused at the age of 9 years old.
Oh, okay. But she didn't tell what was going, what happened.
No, she didn't tell what happened. I think that was a conversation they had. Maybe
I guess
prior.
it was off camera or something, whatever. And she like you don't know how to take care of your husband because you don't know how to take care of yourself,
right?
Which is classic, Iyanla. You got to work on you,
right? And
then then you can actually.
But that's what we don't really focus on. A lot of people get into relationships thinking that, okay, I'm dealing with something, but I don't want to be alone. So I need to be with somebody. And just like we found out on this episode with Shelby, he was saying, I came in this relationship knowing that I had, my own issues, my own baggage, trying to fix you. I'm trying to help fix you, and I ain't got my shit together.
And my baggage is full with clothes coming out of it.
And a whole bunch of shit that I don't even want to, address or talk about.
You damn near, you talking about not living. Yeah, that's how much baggage you is. Yeah.
So something is definitely going on, and then the fact that you're living in this situation that you probably deem as toxic, because nobody wants to, you like I said, or like we said last week or earlier this week, you go to work, you're coming home, you're cleaning, you're taking care of the kids, and then you're living with this woman who's supposed to be your helpmate, and she's basically living this caricature of herself.
She's just there.
She's there. And every now and then she knows how to bring the drama.
She's my wife in just term only. She's not really being his help.
Right.
At
least that's the impression that I'm getting from what they're talking about.
Yeah, because the man's going through, and so I think she gave her a basket. Well, I didn't know. What did she mean by because she said you need to nurture yourself and you need to surrender yourself.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like you need to get in touch with you, focus on you,
or surrender your behavior
in order to be able to focus on somebody else. The same is both of them dealing with the same thing, even though they weren't recognizing it because they don't talk.
They argue. And that brings us to when she brought them together, and he. What was the words he had? He was like she was first she came like 2.5 hours late.
Neffe the next day.
Yeah, this the next day, and she's like, "Are you committed to what's going on?"
Yeah,
and I'm here, ain't I? That's basically what She was like, you want no reality show mode,
right?
You think this is this it's not personal. This is just it seemed like you're treating this. Like it's just a reality show,
right? Because Iyanla pulled out her receipts.
Yeah,
she showed the iPad, showing Neffe making this a video. I'm headed to production.
Yeah, I got my stylist.
My face is done by this person. Shout out to this person and that person. They keep me glammed up and all this.
Looking good. And she said, "This." She's like, "This is."
You right now coming to heal.
Yeah.
Instead of. Shouting out your glam squad, like it don't make sense.
And Nephie was like, this is this morning.
She's like
it was nothing wrong.
Is there a problem with that?
I gotta look good.
Did I do something wrong? I'm basically advertising the show.
Yeah.
So you should be happy.
They need Hook you up. I done seen you. You done drew on your head a couple.
Iyanla went to a professional stylist, and that's how she got that new
haircut. Then she went to old cousin. That's what she did. Old cousin with a couple of kids, and he do old nephew's hair.
Oh my goodness!
And that didn't look. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go down that road.
To me.
I don't know. It seemed like she was just ready for a haircut.
But she had to ask her, like,
and
hey,
sat in the chair and said, "Do whatever.
Pray for us."
And you saw that. Don't act like you didn't see that mess.
She wanted to make sure that Neffe was serious about this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would have asked the same question. Because you out here treating it like it's a reality TV show versus your husband who's going through and he's emotional and he's having this issues. You got a suitcase full of shit, of baggage that you brought into this relationship that you're still dealing with. And you got the nerve to be treating it like a reality show. How about you focus on you? Heal you. Let's work this thing out.
And she called on a lie about the fist fighting. that little part was hilarious.
The problem was that Neffe kept focusing on it.
Yeah.
Like, she felt some type of way that he would bring up to Iyanla that she fist fights him like they do it all the time.
And then she said, I didn't say that, or I don't fist fight him.
Yeah.
And Iyanla like, well,
she pulled out her receipts again.
Well, we take transcripts
of the phone
call. I'm like, I didn't know they had COINTELPRO on Iyanla. I didn't know they were bugging the calls. Hey, maybe they said,
a specific reason.
Can we, do you know this recorded, or do you accept it? How the callers be doing.
I got a feeling that Neffe was under the influence during the time.
She said, well, hold up. I drink, or I may have been drinking. She said, well, are you drinking now?
She said, did you drink yesterday?
Yeah. When you told me this, because you're lying. You're lying to my face. You're damn near bold.
And I don't know if Neffe really understood that she was lying or that she lied about the situation. Why make a big deal out of it? If you knew that's who you were, I guess he in her mind.
She said, let me finish. You didn't let me finish. My mind was altered.
Yeah.
I was like, you steady.
You digging this hole deeper.
Digging, and I'm hearing that beat. She trying to back up from the lie she just told. And I'm like, Iyanla good for that. Like, she got producers and
she got a team.
That catch you in your alternative fact. You trying to. I don't. Right. I don't get it. And then she kept on going with Neffe. It seemed like Neffe was the problem. In this relate, he had a problem because of his situation, but it seemed like she was just. She wasn't helping.
I feel like that's it. I feel like he had more of a desire to fix this situation.
And he didn't know how to fix. He needed fixing, and he didn't mind being fixed.
Exactly.
But he didn't know how to fix.
And she still was playing this character.
Yeah, she was still Neffe.
Yeah.
Oh, she was still playing the game and doing whatever she needed to do. Mm-hmm. It's almost to the point like, did you actually like love the man, or just what he can do for you?
And the way the relationship started, I would say, and then how we got here, and her, I don't know if I can say she was unwilling to kind of change. I just don't think she was taking it seriously initially. But he was more into fixing our relationship because that's a problem. That's why we're here. And she was like, this is an opportunity for Neffe to get some shine.
She basically said, like, you wanted a savior. And, and basically, like, you give a distraction to the men. You hide that I got these kids, and and I'm with a boyfriend or been in in current relationships. It seemed like it was like that's like a glass, and it's just I'm trying to be with you, whatever you can give me, but I'm not going to divulge any information on what's really going on.
They both were kind of doing the same thing.
Was really the
right,
fake it till you make it type deal.
And Iyanla kind of chastised her on the fact that you are, you're in this relationship and you're treating this guy and punishing this guy based on your previous relationship, and you came to him, you got 4 kids, you in the middle of a divorce, you're pregnant by another guy, and you bring this mother to this dude's house.
That's all wrong.
All the way wrong, and I don't understand how Shelby even entertained it. He better than me.
I wouldn't, like you said, entertain. I wouldn't even gone that far. He saw her 7 months pregnant and thought that was the woman for him. That's when I said, okay, you Lulu, you done lost your mind, brother. It reminded me of home.
You Lulu.
Yeah. you Lulu. You loony. It doesn't make sense.
But it speaks to what he was dealing with.
I'm like, if that reminds you of home and that gives you comfort to see a Sarah,
then it explains why we're here. And still dealing with the same bullcrap.
I ain't gonna say it's funny, but it's just strange how different people, grow up in different environments and think like everything is okay or this situation is normal.
When it's all you know, though.
Yeah, that's all you know. Just remind me of home, but like, brother,
you don't see the wrong.
You don't see the situation, what's going on. This remind you of home.
And the sad part
I feel comfortable in this.
And but when you were a kid, you recognized that it was wrong. Yes. And this wasn't how it's supposed to be, but you gravitated to that. That's weird. But I think that's
like you said, it reminded me of home. That's what he was. That's what he called. And then she set both of them down, Neffe and Shelby, and I think she went back to the baggage exercise that they had.
Yeah,
and I think what he bring out the teddy bear.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's she brought it back, and she said, what it remind you of? And he says it remind me of I guess like my childhood or child abuse. I mean, well, that was part of.
Okay.
His child abuse and whatnot. And okay, that's when they brung out the dress and the shirt.
Yeah.
He brung out the dress and she brung out the shirt. And that's when I wanted more of her story.
Right.
Of what's going on.
I feel like we didn't really focus on Neffe. And I don't know if, like you mentioned the last time we had this conversation, if he just seemed like he was more susceptible to the process or more open, and Neffe was being this character and kind of closed off. But I think I needed more from her.
We concentrated on her, but it was just trying to get her to a place of truth. Because you kept on BSing us. Through you was being Nephie, as Iyanla say, instead of Nephiteria. And that's when she called her. Before she called her that, what was she saying? She was like she was being resistant to the process, and and then she flat out called her, no.
He was talking, yeah.
He was talking, and basically saying, you not there for me, and he feels some type of way, and Nephie was like, that's the realest thing that I ever heard come from your mouth, and it seemed like that triggered something for Iyanla. She's like, hold up now,
but. Like when he was saying, I'm not like my smile isn't genuine, but when I see you smile, I feel like I'm supposed to be happy about that.
Yeah.
But I want to get to a point where I'm happy, my family's happy, my kids are happy.
I want to feel appreciated.
Yeah. And then when Neffe was saying like that's the realest thing I heard you say, I thought just like Neffe thought that we were actually at the point where we could start to heal. Like this was a real moment. And what do y'all say?
Like
that's Neffe talking.
They're never talking, and she's like, Neffe is I wrote it down because it was she called her a bitch, but it was a special kind of bitch.
She said because Neffe is a nasty bitch,
nasty vile bitch.
Yeah, she takes every nasty thing she's experienced out on Shelby. And he doesn't deserve
Tell
it.
Her might be because
she wasn't. And what's her name was confused, just like I was, trying to understand how we got here.
Yeah.
And Neffe was. Iyanla eventually called her
a gutter snipe. That must be some old people. I've never heard of gutter snipe.
Like some southern crap. I never heard of it until this show.
I don't know. I guess that's fighting words back in the day. Cause I remember I called my uncle a chump. He was like, "Oh, that's fighting words now." I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Serious.
Gutter snipe.
Yeah.
Gutter snipe.
I have no idea.
And that was choice words. It seemed like she she went for it. That was a dart.
Iyanla wasn't backing away. And Iyanla tried to make the point that I was talking to Nephie, which Nephie has been letting us know that basically she has this alter ego. She wants to find who Nephie is. But she's been presenting to everybody this attitude, this violent Nephie. And so Iyanla was talking to that person. She's like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. You ain't going to be calling me out my name. Take this mic off me.
Hold up. Because you gonna call me out my name.
She felt disrespected, and it kind of came off.
That way. I mean, because you're like, basically, you a bitch. Yeah. Your mama a bitch, and you ain't no good in your family. That's how she said it to her. You know,
even though she tried to justify it, and I understood what she was saying.
Yeah, she came back and tried to apologize, and you know, well, because Neffe came back, and she was like, well, you know, I apologize. You know, I'm not apologizing for what I said, but how I said it. You know, you still a gutter whatever. A
gutter snipe. And a bitch.
And a bitch. But you know,
I didn't say it in a manner to where you could actually hear where I was coming from.
You gutter snipe in the name of Jesus.
No.
That's
let me bless you. No.
You a bitch by the Spirit. That's how she. I'm like, no, you still call me a gutter snipe and you still call me a bitch. Yeah, that's how I would have felt. You ain't no. And I mean, because she went there. I mean, and she went there.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of shocked me that Iyanla went all the way there. And maybe she just got tired of Neffe's antics. But you can't just talk. You're supposed to be here trying to help people. Mm-hmm. And I understand you got sometimes you gotta tell people, you know, told
her she was right out the hood.
But if you attack me and I feel attacked, then I'm going to put on my wall. I'm not going to hear what you're saying, and we won't get anywhere. Yeah. So I think Iyanla should have handled it a little bit different, which she acknowledged. She should have handled it differently, because ain't nobody gonna be okay with you calling
them a bitch. You know, especially woman to woman. You know, that's what they really don't like. Yeah, you never ever called a bitch? What's your problem? I'm like, that's
normal. I'm sure you've been called a bitch or two. I've seen how you act. You can't tell me people ain't called you bitch after bitch after. No, this is supposed to be the healing house, the safe house. I'm supposed to be attacked by others, not you.
Not you. That was funny. You ain't been called a bitch? Like this is my second name. This is
new to you?
But like, come on.
I mean, you act like what?
And then while Neffe was gone, he was talking to the husband, and he was like, you know, why am I thinking about death and not life? He was still on his depressed mode,
right?
And it seemed like that was his thing. Mm-hmm. He just needed to come out,
right?
You know, he needed to see some light. It seemed like he
wanted to see it with his wife,
yeah,
and she was reluctant.
Oh no, she had a black mask on the whole time. You ain't gonna see this light. Well, whatever happens. Mm-hmm.
But she opened up a little bit later.
She brought them back into the house, and you know they you know, this the closing part of the show, and you know how she usually tell them, you know, the guilt, you know, what do you want to say to each other, and he was saying what first she talked
Neffe, Nephie. This was Nephie speaking at this point.
Yeah. She was like, you know, you tell me to fall back, but then you tell me I need help. You know,
what's up with that? Yeah, that's confusing.
You know, he was like, you know, basically, you know, fall back on your drinking and your attitude.
And the drama.
And the drama, you know.
If we're going to come together and work on the situation, then that's cool. But I don't need
help
all the
me
attitude
solve shit.
and the antics. And you fussing at me for me being wrong.
Don't add to my drama. You know, help with the solution.
I think every man feels that way about their woman. When I come home, I want you to be my peace.
Home's supposed to be peace.
And my comfort.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be able to rely on you.
When you see dudes sitting in the car, outside, in the driveway, that means they don't want to deal with your ass. They just saying
gonna be.
If they say I'm just listening to the radio, listen to, you know, a song came on and I didn't want to, or I'm listening to sports, nah.
They just not.
They don't want to listen to your ass. They don't want to deal with you and your antics.
And they got to prepare themselves. They probably got a bottle out there. They trying to get their mind right
to go home.
And it shouldn't be that way.
And
I think that's what he's, you know, kind of what he's feeling.
And that's him at this moment. And you know, and also he told her, you know, you got to curb the drinking. Mm-hmm. I don't like the person you are when you drink. You turn into, you know, Neffe instead of Nephitarian. And you know, and then, you know, I want to see you. And then Neffe started talking, and she started talking her words, and then she's like, you know, basically I want you to see me as Neffe, basically. And Iyanla was like, excuse me, well, hold up. Why don't you take all this off? The makeup and eyelashes and whatever you do. Mm-hmm. Let's do that first, and you come back and then be more real. And then she came back and he was like, you know, this is how I met.
Yeah, this is who I met. Yeah,
you just ain't 7 months pregnant. You know, I gotta keep on coming to that because
it's important.
I don't understand. But anyway, you know, she's like, you know, I love you. I appreciate you. You know, I want to make this work. Mm-hmm. You know, all the right words and whatnot. Go ahead.
No,
it seemed like you had something.
No, I was just saying what I was thinking. She also wanted him to acknowledge, like, do you believe that I want to be by your side? I want to be like basically your ride or die, and go down the path where God leads us. Because he said, you know, it's supposed to be God first, then me, then you, and then our kids. Yeah, and like that's the you know the order it's supposed to be in. He's trying to get her to follow this path, and she's like, do you believe that I want to be that person for you? And he was like, yeah. Yeah, you know, once she removed the makeup and the earrings and all this stuff, and removed Neffe,
yeah,
you know, the caricature.
And then she was like, you know, I don't like you smoking. You know, I want you to be healthy,
right,
and whatnot.
That I felt like she was really being real.
I think she genuinely cares,
right,
cares for him, and know that you know, she kept on saying he's a good guy, and like Iyanla said, she never said, you know, I love him,
right. And it's weird to me that you can say that you care or you love someone and you don't really know them. Because it was clear on this episode that they don't know each other.
When she said that's the realest thing, I'm like, y'all haven't been real to each other?
Yeah. If I can't be real with anybody else, I should be able to be real
with you. The person I'm supposed to be connected to for the rest of my life, supposedly. You know, and I can't give you some old vessel words. You know, that what's on my mind and actual pure thoughts, or you know, where it's coming from. You know, you would think you would want that kind of connection with your wife.
Yes, if nobody else.
Your wife.
But they made up in the moment.
In the moment, you know, they you know, they gave the hug and kiss and all that.
And then I didn't expect that follow up.
You know, they said it was you know, that she continues to drink
daily,
and
they decided to separate.
He filed for divorce.
Yeah, and I didn't see that coming. I don't think
I did. You know, it to me it didn't look like, especially when what we were just saying. You know, you opening up and you just finding out this information.
It may be too much for both of them.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she want to live that life, and he ain't ready for it. He ready to live real life. You know, he ain't got.
And she's
time
still trying to be reality TV Neffe. Maybe.
Well, that's all we got for you, people. Hopefully, enjoy what we had. Might be.
I'm out.
Till next time.
Peace.